Hello and welcome to this third video on the onboarding process. In this video here, we will cover what the final steps are for you as the employer to onboard your employees into the system and have them ready for payroll. So once the employee has submitted their onboarding packet to you and they click on submit, like we showed in the last video at the end of it, what happens is that you will now get an email here that basically will come from that Columbia EDP at My iSolved Again onboarding, and it will tell you that the employee section has been done. And it'll just say, please log in and navigate to the employee admin tools, employee administration, and pending employees, which is essentially the same section we were in when we started the onboarding process. So let's go over there and we'll just start logging in and walk through this process. So it's going to ask you to put in your login ID, which is your email address, and your password. We're going to log in. And again, you end up on that landing page right there. We just want to come up to employee admin tools, employee administration, and then go back to pending employees. And from here, we can see now that this is one of those employees, the employee that we onboarded, and it's assigned to me, which basically means that it's now my job to go ahead and finish the rest of their onboarding. So if you want to click on this arrow right here, you can see again that base information right there. But where we really want to click on is this actions. And so now you see there is a third selection. Before there was a resend and a delete. Now we want the client new hire wizard. That's our portion of the onboarding. So we click onto that. That will bring us into this screen here where we're just going to review the information and make any kind of necessary changes if we need to. So on here is the employee information. And again, this is going to mirror what you saw in the employee portion where you have a menu item that you're going to just step through right over here. And as you go through each one, it's going to just check mark those boxes for you. So here, again, first name, last name, they've entered their address, their ID type, social security number, all that is based on our initial onboarding side of it. They've entered in their phone numbers right here for you. So we just click on next after you've looked at that. Excuse me, that's going to take them into their employment information. This is where you're going to put in their work location, which we've already chosen when we onboarded them. Their status is active. Their hire date is today. Now, the one thing you will have to do is the employment category, because again, everything that has an asterisk in it is a required field. So we just drop this down and we say that they're full-time or part-time. This is important based on certain rules in the system that apply only to full-time or only to part-time employees. So it is important that we choose one of these and it is a required field. So we're going to say this employee is a full-time. Their employee ID number is going to be assigned to them upon saving them. We can set up in the system that if you have time clock IDs, you can enter them in here manually, or if you want them to match their employee ID and then enter that into your POS system, you can do that. It's just a matter of which way you want that to happen. So over here is their self-service information. Their email address is the one that we sent that to. So that will be their login ID into their self-service. And then we have it enabled here. This section right here, you won't have to worry about. This is based on if we're using a built-in timekeeping system in the platform. So this is not applicable for you. So we just click on next from there. This is where we enter on this screen now their pay information. So in their pay group, they're going to be in a semi-monthly. That's what's going to be available, whether they are an hourly or a salary staff. So we're going to say this one is an hourly. They're in a semi-monthly, and you just put in what their hourly rate is going to be. The nice thing is the system will automatically put in what their annual and what their per pay period is based on these hours there. Now, if they're an hourly employee, it obviously is going during payroll. It will wait for you to put hours in. If they are a salaried staff, it's automatically going to bring in what their salary is. But this number here is just based on that 86.67, which are the normal hours for a semi-monthly pay period. So we just click on next. This is where you're just going to review their tax information. You cannot change any of their tax statuses right now. Once they're in the system and you've onboarded them, the employee can have the ability to go into their portal and request changes to their tax status if you'd like, or you will be able to change that once they're actually onboarded fully into the system. Okay? So this is their resident location. And these are copies of their W-4s, the signed W-4s for them. And again, those will end up in their employee file in the system for you guys. Okay, so we're just going to click on next. This is their direct deposit information. So this is the information they have entered for that remaining net pay, which means everything is going into this account, this routing number. It's a checking account. It's every pay period, and that it is active. Okay. So not much to do with that, except for just making sure that it's there. If they're supposed to be on direct deposit, click on next. This is their emergency contact information right here. So this is the name and this is their work number right there. You can click on this to edit or edit that if they gave you something else after the fact. But again, that's something that can be done in the portal by the employee, or we can do that after we've onboarded them into the system. So then we just click on next. This is just essentially saying, hey, you've completed your process. So let's go ahead and click on next. Okay, and that's saying, hey, we've looked at everything in here and we don't see any issues. The system doesn't see any issues with anything that's been submitted. And we just complete the new hire to finalize that out. That's now setting up all their records. So what this does now is it gives you kind of these little tiles right here that you can go into and look to, excuse me, and get back to the pending employee section. If you want to do another onboarding, you can go to employee summary, the profile picture if they've put one, any kind of documents they've uploaded, notes, if we have benefits set up, and then direct deposit information from there. But outside of that, that's the onboarding process. If you want to review them now, under employee management, you can come to employee summary, and this is going to show you, this is their summary card right here. This is the default view here, and they list all their information. So social security number, birth date, the company, obviously legal company, the DBA, their hire date, all this information here. And the nice thing is that all of these links, all these titles are all hyperlinked to the section in the system that you can get to see them. So to see a list of your employees, you can click on this little menu item up here, the lines here, and this will show you your active employees here. So, and then you can click into that employee to get back to this view here. The other portions of this we will cover in a different video or in training for you once we have people onboarded, and we'll walk through how do we actually go in and edit records and start payroll and change pay information, that kind of stuff. But that's the end of this video for the onboarding for the employee side of it. Employer side of it. Again, under employee admin tools, employee administration, and pending employees will show you your employees that you have out there that need to be onboarded by your end. So hopefully this was informative, and thanks for your time.